Hello, Norwood superstars. This is Mr. Castro, and I bring to you the video version of this first edition for 2021 to 2022 of the Norwood News newsletter. This is our family newsletter that we now are doing bi-weekly, twice a month, on the first and third Thursday of every month. So for this first edition, we're just going to go over some basic information here. We always start with our upcoming dates, events, any changes to the schedule. And coming up are going to be 2 days off that the kids have for an extra nice long weekend. So how's that? Monday, September 6th and Tuesday, September 7th, no school or classes for children at all. They return back on Wednesday, September 8th, hopefully refreshed, and that's going to be also the first day of regular pre-K schedule, and as well as bus transportation for pre-K students. Everyone else, we'll talk about bus transportation, but everyone else should have already had that resolved or be receiving it that is supposed to receive it. But for pre-K, that's going to be the first day that it's available. Now for Thursday, September 16th is another day in which schools are going to be closed for students. School hours, you have to arrive 8:20 is the earliest you can arrive. That's when we open our doors. If you arrive before then, there's no supervision, so you have to wait. 8:35 is the late bell. That's when classes start. 3:20 is our dismissal. And our pre-K schedule, the morning session is from 8:35 to 11:05 in the morning, and then the afternoon session is from 12:50 to 3:20. If you have any questions about the bus situation for pre-K, because that might be a little confusing, even if you don't normally receive a bus because you live in the walk zone, because they're so young, the system does offer a bus at select times, and then you still have to pick them up. But if you receive a bus, you're going to get everything taken care of. So that can be a little confusing, but just let us know. Our phone number is going to be 443-809-7055. And this is our amazing and fearless leader. Our principal, Candace Stafford, wants to give you a warm welcome. And she has a long history here. She's worked here as an assistant principal as well. So she wrote a letter to just reach out to everybody, explain some things to keep in mind, and to make this a very smooth and successful back to school phase of the school year. And it's going to be in English on page 1, and it's going to be in Spanish on page 2. Any interactive elements that you would normally have to go to the written version of the newsletter for, we're going to leave in the description of the YouTube video. So you don't have to actually leave this to go to the written version. You can actually do that. Now you can still go to the written version to refer to, but we just want to make it easy for you. So check the description if you need to get a download of a permission slip or any form, or you need to, like in this case, see a letter. That's a PDF. Now, talking about school bus transportation, if your child is supposed to receive a bus, they should have been already informed, except for obviously the pre-K students. They start on Wednesday the 8th. So if you're watching this or viewing this or reading this beyond the 8th, everything should be fine. However, if for whatever reason you do not have that, or you're not sure whether your child's supposed to receive a bus, please contact the school. Again, 443-809-7055. Now, school transportation for kindergarten students began on Wednesday, September 1st. So if you should have received the bus, it should have started that day. And then for pre-K, again, Wednesday, September 8th. Now, be aware that the policy for BCPS and Department of Transportation is that if your child is in kindergarten, first, second, third, or above, they are allowed to be left to drop off from the bus by themselves without somebody being there to receive them. That is the policy. So if you think that your child is not going to be dropped off because you're running late, that is not the case. So it is your responsibility to make sure that you are there if you need to be there. If your child is older, but obviously that's a different situation. But pre-K students are the ones that are not allowed to be left off the bus if there is not a parent to receive them. Now, you can always please be mindful of your assigned bus stops and times for both the morning and the afternoon. And if there's anything happening with the bus or it's running incredibly late, please call us and let us know. We want to help you with that. And if you ever have any questions, again, just contact the school. Just check with the driver, though, if you're ever in doubt as to whether they're on the correct bus. Make sure that they go to Norwood Elementary. We've received a lot of questions about the virtual learning program. If you had a student that was enrolled last year in school, whether it be virtual or in person, whatever, if you had an actively enrolled BCPS student, your deadline for that child was July 2nd. That's already passed. Now you can read about other alternatives and options like home and hospital care or for homeschooling. There are circumstances the VLP could work in tandem or together with that. If you want to request what they call co-enrollment, at this point, maybe you've changed your mind. There's no guarantee you'll be able to do it, but if you click on the link here, which is going to be included in the description of this video, it's going to give you a document that you can fill out and request. Again, not a guarantee, but any inquiries or questions, please email vlp@bcps.org. Do not call the school, because we don't work directly for that office that is fostering that program. It's a bit different than how it was last year because they have dedicated teachers that were hired to teach that. And so you are still enrolled in the school, but you're almost like as if you're going to a different school because you're going to have a different teacher, and you're only going to come to the school for select things like an after-school program or testing. So it's a bit different. Now, moving on to dismissal, pickup, and procedures and student contact info. Really important. We need to have your most up-to-date information. If we don't, it's based on that records we have that we're going to know who to allow to release your child to if, let's say, the parents don't come, because you have listed when you register your child emergency contact information. And we want to make sure who has pickup privileges. So maybe you have contacts, but you haven't given them pickup privileges. So this is really important. And it's also important to know that parents and emergency contacts have to present a photo ID whenever they come to pick up their child at any moment. So at any moment, we can ask you for that, and we need to ask you for that. We want to confirm and be extra sure. It's for your child's safety. So please do not get angry if you don't have your ID. We have sent this information out many ways, and it's included here. We just thank you for your understanding and that it is for your child's safety. We will not release them otherwise. Also, if you have any information that you need to update with the school, please let us know. You've changed your phone numbers or anything like that. However, there's going to be a way for you to be able to update that information yourself. So rather than you having to fill out forms or come in to do something, you can actually log into Focus. And last year, Focus was a way for you to log in and check your child's report cards. But now there's a new way you can log into Focus as under a parent account or parent credentials. And by doing it that way, you can not only check your report cards for your child, you can check their absences and attendance record, and you can also update information for the family. Like if you by chance move within the same zone, and you also need to notify the school whenever you do that. But this is going to be a very useful tool. Now, if you were receiving messages and you no longer receive them anymore, if they stopped, that is really important to know. Please let us know. And also you can text the letter Y or the word yes to number 67587 on your mobile phone if you want to receive emergency messages text messages from the school. Perfect example was the other day when we had the storms and we closed 3 hours early. You should have received an emergency message for that. If you don't, then you can sign up this way. That's how to do it from your phone. We have a problem with the system where we can't actually enter that for you, so you have to do it yourself from your phone. The monthly family unit overview for math. Now, what this means is that we heard your suggestions and we decided to follow them. There were actually some suggestions that we were given that we thought were really useful, and we wanted to provide a little bit more, some more tools, educational tools for you guys in this newsletter. So, in the first newsletter of every month, we're going to provide some math family unit overviews, which basically previews the upcoming math unit, so that you and your child can work together and look at it. It's not incredibly long. It may be a page or two at most. It gives you succinct notes about what they can expect, maybe have some activities. You can look it over, or you can spread it out over a few days. So that's a good tool that you can now use, and it's going to be available for every grade except for pre-K, because they have a different curriculum for English and Spanish. So just click on the appropriate language and you'll be able to see, and here's an example of the one for kindergarten. Now, the second newsletter of every month is going to focus on ELA, English Language Arts, which basically means reading and writing skills. The Eliza Brandwine Center is a program that is completely free of cost. Not all schools have it. It's actually it can be seen as an alternative to pre-K if you don't make the cut for pre-K, since there's always high demand and it's not mandatory. It's actually 90 minutes that it meets here, and it's in person. It's no longer virtual, at Fridays specifically at this school. And you have to choose one of these three sessions, 9 to 10:30 or 10:50 to 12:20 or 1:40 to 3:10. And if you're interested in registering, you need to speak to Ms. Barbie Pullman. So her email is here, and we're going to include it in the description. Just send her an email and so you can set up an appointment to register. And if you need her to reach out to you by phone or you don't use email, let us know. We're happy to put you in touch. And here's just a flyer. That's the current flyer. It's a little small, so we are sorry for how small it can be to read, but it does tell you the Fridays, the 3 different sessions, and the different areas, the schools that are school services for this program. That's it for this inaugural edition for this school year. Thank you very much for your time and your patience. We hope that you keep using this resource, this bulletin, this newsletter, as whatever you want to call it. It's going to be, again, every 2 weeks. And if you ever have any suggestions, at the bottom of this newsletter is our contact information, not only for the school, but for also myself, Mr. Castro. So it's all down here at the bottom footer, the phone number for the school and our website, which is where it's found, and also my contact information specifically so you can call or email me. I'm the one who put it together with love and with much joy for our Norwood families. Thank you once again, and as always, keep on learning.